All right, welcome. Good evening. We'll start in a few minutes. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. Well, let's get started. Let's jump right in. Let's get going. Tonight we want to being hungry, and that's a good thing. So peace and love to all of you. Tonight it felt like a good night to come on again. I appreciate all of y'all being supportive and supporting me and allowing me to support you so that I can be of support, and then that supporting me, so it's a circle. So I appreciate it. So we live, and tonight I'm gonna just really get right into it. Well, actually, before I get right into it, just a quick announcements. I have announced the dates for the Jamaica retreat. We're gonna be in Jamaica. I believe it's let me just double check those dates. The 12th. Well, you'll see the flyer. You can go to no, you can't go to my website. I should put it on the website, but you can go to my Instagram. I got it pinned on my page. I believe it's the 12th to the 19th. February 12th to the 19th, 2024. So you can call it. There's a 718 number that you can call to put your deposit down. And that's going to be a great week. We had a fantastic time in Brooklyn last weekend. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. I put a few clips on the YouTube channel. So if y'all here on Instagram, you want to check out. Actually, did I put the clips? No, I don't believe I put the clips on the Instagram, but they're definitely on my YouTube channel. And you want to see those clips. More clips are coming. So just bear with me as I go through them and have to do a little editing and stuff. But yeah, so we have that. And last but not least, we got the Thanksgiving holiday coming up. So I know y'all like to eat healthy for that time where it's friends and family and a break from work usually. So so you could check out. I got some deals going. I just want to remind people that I am accepting orders on my website. All right, so I did a video on my TikTok, which I reposted on Instagram, talking about hunger being the healthiest of habits that we can embrace. Hunger is something we all familiar with. And, it got me thinking about hunger, just in general, just to really step back and look at it, not to look at it as like, healthy or whatever, but almost like in a social way, even maybe in a political way, on a psychological level, we associate hunger usually with poverty. Politically, it has all kind of, it sends all type of subliminal messages of, again, just like third world poverty. And so it's all negative. It's like that word hunger is like become a bad word, almost like a 4-letter word. Again, it's not associated with anything that when we talk about health and wealth, right? Health rhymes with wealth. And we see this as like being healthy is we never really see it as associated with really less, but health being more, as far as just having access to certain levels of foods. Usually organic foods and things of that nature can be more costly and things like that. But I love this word hunger because again, just mentally, most, if not all of us, think poverty, third world, just negative, lack, right? And even to put hunger, pain, to bring another, and that is a four-letter word, to bring it out, it's like hunger, pain. It's like that's just bad on top of bad. But just from all of my years of doing this, and even just using myself as the guinea pig, I can definitely say that in terms of embracing it, that's what it's because I can honestly say that if I'm fasting, or if I'm thinking about fasting, and sometimes the hunger pain can hit you in a way, it's like, should I be doing this? Right? But if I had the mindset, well, man, this hunger pain is the exact sensation that's going to produce greater health, superior health. I can't honestly say I never had that mindset. I know that fasting produces better health. Of course, I know that better than anybody. The book I wrote, it was all about fasting using coconut water. So, but to have the mentality, and that's why I put out my video, is because to associate hunger pain with the sensation that we should embrace. Because when I talk about pain and pleasure, pain is one of those. Pain is always connected with pleasure. It's always connected with pleasure. So if it's life becomes a matter of, do we want pleasure first and then pain later, or do we want to have pain first and then pleasure later? So see, if we put first, and when we put pain first, that is like when we're using discipline, when we're restricting ourselves, when we are consciously doing maybe something we wouldn't naturally do in order to get the pleasure later on our terms, versus going for the pleasure, just 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 going with it, like, okay, I just feel like eating, I want to eat. I don't feel like doing this, I'm gonna procrastinate. I don't feel like reading, I want to watch a movie. Right? Just being unproductive. I don't feel like exercising. Because what is exercise? Right? Exercise is a form of pain. So hunger pain is at the top of that list. And it's not real hunger. Uh, Anybody who's listened to me, I always say, your body is designed to hold on to, it's to store reserves. Anytime we eat any food, our body's gonna store some reserves somewhere, whether it's in the extremities, anywhere the blood travels, the body is going to use to whether it's in the gut, whether wherever in the body, throughout the entire body. every part of the body is fair game as far as storage is concerned. Certainly some parts of the body more than others. So the thing is like, it's not real hunger, it's habit hunger. It's the habit of eating. And the thing is that when we get into embracing hunger, which again has that negative poverty connotation, when we embrace hunger, we get better. We get stronger, we get healthier, we feel better, we look better. Now here's a concept, because from that I want to introduce my next concept. Because the thing, at least for me, in the way I approach these things, I think it's all about how we think about these things. Again, just how we talked about hunger, and how hunger is this, it has this negative connotation, but if anything, is the best thing we can probably look forward to each and every day. All right, and we'll get into the day and the rhythm, and I'm going to share with you my plans. Actually, I'm already implementing it, but it's definitely something I'm bringing into 2024. A new rhythm for me eating. So stay tuned for that. But before I do that, I want to introduce a whole nother concept, as far as longevity is concerned. One of the things, again, we've been made to believe that it's almost like the more we eat, right, the healthier we are, and it's really just the opposite. Anybody who's ever gone on an extended fast, or who uses fasting as their medicine, it's a lifestyle. You do regular fasting, whether it be, even if it's intermittent fasting, or if you're fasting with your women, you're fasting with your moon cycle, or if you're fasting with the sun cycle, like how I like to do. We understand it's like, man, we eat too much. So I have this thought that we only get a certain amount of meals in a lifetime, right? A certain amount of meals in a lifetime because let's be honest, food exhausts. There's wear and tear, especially food. But even food, like when I say food, let me qualify that by saying that obviously we have a wide spectrum of what we can consider food. But when I say food, I'm talking about largely food that is seen as building blocks. So largely we find those types of food that have largely made up of fat and protein. Okay. Certainly we have carbohydrates and moisture as we find in our fruits, but for the most part, the fresh fruits are going to be largely water, and then our vegetables, nuts, seeds. If you eat animals or whatever, you eat beans, you eat whatever, these things are going to be have a higher concentration of density in protein, fat, and starch. Okay, so I had a thought. I was like, we only get a certain amount. I think that we should have the mindset that we should have, whether this is true or not. The mindset that we should have is that we get a certain amount of meals in a lifetime. So if we approach life as like, I get a certain amount of meals. So I did some math. I said, first thing, you start from the end. So, and again, these are loose numbers, but right now the average life expectancy in the U.S. is different in other countries, but for generally, for well, we'll just stick with the U.S. since most of the people here probably watching are in the U.S. So in the U.S. right now, the average life expectancy is 77 years old. Okay, so 77 years, multiply that by 365. We got 365 days in a year. That gives us 28,105 days. So 28,105 days, right? And most people, I mean, again, I'm sure for the first 20, 30 years of life, most of us ate 3 meals a day. Okay. So so we're going to multiply 28,105 times 3. So that gives us 84,315. So let's just round that down. So we get roughly 80,000 meals in a lifetime. 80,000 meals. And we could even take that further and say, I mean, just imagine if we said, all right, our age is determined by the amount of meals that we've had. So if I meet somebody, I'm just like, where you at on your count? I'm at 40,000, right? And some other person said they had 60,000, or I'm at 75,000. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying? Did I lose some of y'all? I mean, I know I'm a math person, but I think that's a healthy concept in terms of our approach to longevity. Okay, if we took our mindset of food and looked at it as something that really exhausts the body, really something that ultimately it allows the body to expire. It's a blessing and a curse. Now, obviously, eating healthier food, we can probably fudge the math a little different. But for the most part, even eating healthy, and I can attest to this, because the thing is that, it goes back to what I said a few months ago, is that none of us are really toxic. Okay, even if you're eating a horrible diet by all standards. And the reason I say that is because your body adjusts. So if you're eating fried foods and you're drinking alcoholic beverages and smoking and doing all these things that we know are toxic to the body, the body makes an adjustment. That adjustment means lowering the vitality of the body. Okay? So while, yes, I can feel, someone saying, or I can understand that someone says, okay, these things are toxic. Certainly, yes, I would agree with that. However, it's not toxic in the moment because that's allowing that person to live. Okay, you're lowering the vitality, yes, but for that particular person, wherever they are on whatever level they're at, that food becomes helpful for them. That food regenerates their body, albeit, yes, lowering the life force while doing it. So the whole point of that is when we start to change our diet, we begin to level up. Okay. And that's when you start to, because the body's always remaking itself. So if I start bringing in different materials, the body got to really kind of get rid of the old to make way for the new. So that's when you start to feel this pain and this discomfort. But if you keep doing what you're doing, obviously you're going to get that pain anyway on the back end. But none of us are really toxic, at least in terms of where we're at. Now, if we start to level up, then we feel the effects of the things the bad habits. Okay. So I say all of that to say that even for someone like me and the diet that I've been eating over the last 2 decades, as healthy as I've tried to be with, fresh food, mostly organic, doing, just doing what I know to be the best and incorporating regular fasting, um, among other things. Certainly, I feel the effects of eating too much. I can't even the diet that I eat, I can't eat every day. Eating every day is too much. I feel the wear and tear. Eating fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, sprouted grains. It becomes too much, right? I start to feel aches and pains, even on the diet that I'm on. Like this whole concept of the hunger pain applies to any and everyone. Okay, but I do feel like it's all in a balance. And it's about understanding where you're at, thinking about where you're trying to go, but of course having a plan in how you get there. But I can say that in addition to, I've talked about snacking being the worst health habit. But I mean, snacking certainly can't be worse than overeating. We overeat. That is probably the sin of sins, to actually stuff oneself. And we've all felt that feeling. We all know that feeling. We eat too much. Now, as a chef, that's been a blessing and a curse, because I know how to make the food taste how I want it to taste. But definitely being, overeating, being a glutton has got to be the sin of sins, in addition to snacking. But I put snacking on top. I still put snacking on top of the list because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I I really want to believe that most people will not stuff themselves. Maybe okay, that one time out of a week or maybe out of a month or once in a blue moon, it's like, oh man, that food is really good. I had to do it. Okay, but that's one of the blessings of raw food though too, is because it really, if you're eating foods in this, like when I say raw food, raw cuisine, okay, your salads and your entree and things that are put together with a nutritional consciousness. When you're eating high quality, nutritionally dense foods, that food will not allow you to overeat. Which is why you should eat as much fresh food as possible. Because eating dry food is probably only going to allow you to continue to want to eat more drier food. That's addiction. Okay, so I went over the got 80,000 meals. So I want y'all to think about, like, how many meals have you probably had. Y'all should do some real math and think about, like, where you at on that. Like, what's your age? We should be looking at age in reference to meals. And if think about it. Like, if you've had, if you know you got 10,000 more meals to go before you expire, how often are you going to eat? Once, well, you should be eating once a day anyway. Mainstream alternative health, that's all. Well, at least, anytime I'm on any type of social media, or the people I follow, 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day, and that's it. But how about 1 meal a week, or at least once every other day? So that's a good segue into what I plan to do. We got we coming up on the winter solstice, and so usually around December I do my long fast. So I usually try to do at least 2 weeks leading up into the winter solstice, and I will be really going in about that. I feel like, as far as the God body is concerned, this is going to be the strongest time of the day. The strongest time of the year to do your longer fast. So I will go into that. I'll save that for a future video, going into the whole cosmic reason why that is. But we're in preparation. But after I come off of that fast, my plan is to basically eat every other day. And specifically Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So like today, I ate today. So in my mind, I'm already like, okay, my next meal is going to be on Friday. So tomorrow, and I'm definitely not hungry in the morning. Usually my hunger sensation may not hit my stomach till sometime in the early afternoon at the earliest. And then by late afternoon, yeah, it may be really talking to me at that point. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that sensation because, as I've said, when we start to have that hunger sensation, we get better. We think better. If you're feeling any type of sluggishness or aches, or all of that magically disappears. And yeah, maybe I didn't feel that so much in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, but I could definitely tell you now that I'm in my 50s, look, age is a real thing. All of us are going to expire. But it's like, I don't need to eat every day. And so that's my plan. Monday, Wednesday, Friday plan. Forget the 1 meal a day plan. 1 meal basically every other day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This past year, I've been pretty good about Monday. I was pretty much eating Monday through Friday. So, Friday, I knew that would be my last meal until Monday. And let me also qualify. So, what am I doing on the off days? On the off days where I'm not eating, is water. Well, for me, my water may not be your water. But let me just say that my water more than likely will be coconut water. But I also consider my fresh juice my water. Some of that juice is a little different than others. So typically, like, depending on the season. So now we're going into the winter season. Watermelon season is over. Florida citrus is now coming to flow. So I've been starting doing my Florida citrus. So I do a citrus blend where I'm doing orange, and the oranges I'm getting are like either the Hamlin variety or the Valencia variety, both from Florida. They got seeds. And then that with some grapefruits, again, seeded grapefruit from Florida. So it could be the pink grapefruit or the flame. I like the flame. Delicious. So I'm doing a citrus blend. I'm blending other citrus. I'm really trying to get the tangerine this winter. But yeah, winter is our time for the citrus fruits to make our nice citrus juices. And I always add coconut water to my citrus juice. The citrus juice is pretty intense. What the coconut water does is really smooth out that acidity without watering down the flavor. So you really get the best of both worlds. So I'm doing the citrus. So I got the coconut water, I got the citrus juice, my cucumber. I'm always doing cucumber juices, and I'm definitely doing, like, if cucumber juice is more of a morning juice for me. Pineapple juice is more of an evening juice for me. It's a little heavier, but and then I'm doing blends, of course, with the pineapple, but and at the very top, at the very most, as far as consumption on those fasting days, is fresh fruit. So if I have acai, I'll do something like acai. I'll do durian. Those are like two of my, like, sort of dinner on the days that I'm not eating the heavier raw food. Because with the heavier raw food, I'm doing, like, nuts. I'm doing, like, heavier, obviously, foods that's going to stay on my stomach for maybe an hour or two, and not just like 20-30 minutes. Okay, so it's obviously levels, and maybe some of those days I'll keep it just at juice. Maybe some of those days I keep it just at water. So it really just, I'm again, long as you are restricting, there's some sort of calorie restriction on that day. It's not so much about eating or not eating at all. It's just eating less. Ultimately, this is a yoga practice, right? We obviously, I say yoga where we see a yoga mat, you doing poses and stretches. What about the yoga on the inside? Because the yoga on the inside is more important than the yoga on the outside, right? Our internal organs make everything else go. And while we can exercise our extremities, we can run and walk and do yoga and stretch. And while that has a good impact on the internal system. Without the internal system, the arms and legs and shoulders don't mean anything, right? So the best yoga for the internal system is to skip a meal or two or three. That is the best yoga for the internal system. Because then, guess what? The external yoga, you're going to be better at your external yoga by practicing the internal yoga. Not to mention, when we get into meditation, your meditation going to be better. It's going to be clearer. It's going to be lighter. You're going to be able to connect to your cosmic self, to your God self, much easier without having the heavy food to digest and on your system. So that's the preparation for the winter solstice. It'll be here before you know it. I never know what day exactly I'm going to start, but I know what day I'm going to finish. It will either be the 25th or the 1st. And the last 2 years, I think I've gone all the way to the 1st of the new year. It depends on, I listen to my body when I'm ready to start. It's very typical for me to begin to lose my appetite. In December, food is like there's very little attraction and appeal to food. And this is when you know that, like, okay, it's time. And I mean, really, each and every day you should go into, like, am I going to eat today? This is the ultimate practice. Again, for better or worse, most of us probably got 80,000 meals. Maybe we have 100,000 meals. Maybe we got 50,000 meals. But it's something that we should think about. Now I'm gonna show this question here on. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna show the question here. Is there a timing that we must follow for eating? I've been hearing about the digestive cycle. What's your take on that? Well, we're talking about not eating, period, or at least not eating throughout the day. On a real basic level, even I'm gonna say this, even if you have children, because obviously children, the laws are a little bit different. But let me save the children for later. There should never, like, breakfast should be totally out of the question. Should never ever be eating breakfast. Definitely the worst meal of the day, for sure. Lunch, it depends. As far as the whole practice of this hunger pain yoga, as I'm calling it, lunch, you will usually not get to the hunger pain sensation by lunchtime. It may have you may have to skip not only breakfast and lunch. Well, I don't want to use that word skip, but go all the way through until the early or late afternoon, until you start to really feel that hunger pain, that hunger sensation. See, the longer we wait throughout the day, then basically it's like, all of the things that, people associate the fasting, all of the benefits, grow stem cells, the body goes into, there's this word now I've heard, auto, I don't even know how to say it, But basically, it's the body using or using what it doesn't need or what has been stored as fuel. And for most people, it may take at least 16, 18 hours to get to that part. So if you didn't eat, let's say you ate dinner, was the last dinner the day before, then going into almost dinner, that's a full almost 20. Like let's say you wait till dinner the next day to eat, then that's a full 24 hours. So typically at the very minimum, this is the practice. One meal a day, give your body a full 24, 23 to 24 hours to eat at the very minimum. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying this evening is that we want to embrace the hunger pain. Know that the hunger pain is a good pain. It is something that is going to bring much pleasure in the way of health and longevity. Okay, so we really want to make this our daily yoga practice. Now, one exception, let's say you exercise in the morning. And that's another thing. The quick thing about exercise, a lot of you may take exercise class in the evening. If that's the only time that you can take it with your schedule, then okay. However, the ideal time to exercise is in the morning. Early morning, late morning, and at latest early afternoon, because then you can really get into, and again, you haven't had, this is without no breakfast, no food, if anything, water or fresh juice. Doing an exercise class late in the evening after the sun has gone down. See, your rhythm, our physical rhythm need to be in sync with the sun. Ideally, we really should wake up right before the sun comes up. Be outside, get in that fresh air, no matter what the temperature is. And we should be moving around. We should be grounding. We should be getting all of that nature stimulation. Obviously we all got life out here, so as the sun comes up, we should be outdoors. We should be active outside at least an hour or two, especially if it's a nice day. There's no excuse. Certainly if you have work and we all got life and responsibilities, children, and etc., etc., you do the best you can. If you can only do it on the weekends, then go all out on the weekends. These are just some basic life hacks that, I mean, think about what most people are doing. Most people wake up, I don't even know what most people, but I can only imagine. But if most people, because again, we're talking about ultimately embracing hunger as a health habit. Most people are just eating habitual food, right? They're just addicted to the bagels and the waffles and the heavy breakfast food, even if they're doing smoothies and fruit. Again, a lot of these things, and they can't just do a fruit smoothie. You know what they're gonna add, a scoop of that toxic protein. And I only say it's toxic because it's a processed protein. That's not something that's natural. It's processed. It's not a living food. It's like, man, you can't even have some a living fresh smoothie, and just, it's almost like we have this, again, it goes back to hunger being associated with poverty and third world conditions, right? When hunger is really the best thing we can look forward to. See, it's a whole shift in the psychology. When we have that hunger sensation, it's a great thing because, like I said, the body goes into self-healing, like exponential self-healing. The body's always self-healing anyway. And it's giving you, at least for me, I get a little stiffness or here and there, maybe a little something in my back or, you know, uh, just whatever. And I just have to just stop eating and it magically goes away. Or you know how you can feel when you're in your 50s, y'all know what I'm talking about. You feel yourself walking, right? You feel yourself walking. Like you feel it in your feet, your ankles, all of your joints. I mean, just imagine you don't feel yourself walking. Are you walking, man? Like, man, every stride it feels so good. I mean, I feel that way after I do like a nice yoga session. Like my body feels like water. But it also feels that way when I'm not eating. And obviously, I'm going to come back to food at some point. But the whole science of life, in terms of getting the most out of this precious vehicle, is like, what's the pattern? What's the rhythm? And at the maximum is 1 meal a day. Maximum. And we want to feel some hunger sensation. So if we work out in the morning, right, we have a nice hunger sensation before we bring in that meal early afternoon, late afternoon, ideally. If we eat by, let's say, 2, 3 o'clock, now you give yourself a nice 3-4 hours because you want to drink before your meal too. You don't want to eat after your meal. You want to drink before your meal, have a nice meal, give your body a nice 3-4 hours. By 7, 8 o'clock, have your water, your fresh juices, and then you're ready to retire. See if you now imagine, okay, you're eating 2-3 times a day. Okay, you go to your exercise class at night. It's a lot of stimulation. I mean, the stimulation is the food, but of course your body is used to it. This is all your body know, right? Because that's what you're doing. That's what you basically condition your body to take. It's like you got the meals coming down. The digestion is never getting a rest, never getting a break. So what are most people doing? They're looking for the stimulants. They're going for the coffee. They're going for the natural caffeine. They're going for all of these things that is, again, exhausting the nervous system, exhausting the body in every direction. It's exhausting the body. You exhausting them. You might be even working out too much. And I hate to say that because exercise, it's almost like most of us need more exercise, right? It's like, can we really exercise too much? But if we're eating every day, there is no way that a body that is eating every single day is a healthy body. Now, obviously, there's levels. Okay, there's eating fried foods every day versus eating fresh food every day. Obviously, there's a difference with that. But I'm sure if you're watching me, again, we don't, I'm giving most, if not all of y'all, the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, y'all either raw curious or eating high raw foods or all raw foods, which is basically what I'm known for is being a raw food chef of a long time. All right. So that was the long answer. Um, we really need to we really need to bring a high consciousness, and this is the time. One of the things, we're in late October. So now the season this is a season of retreat. Nature is retreating into the soil. Nature is going into its seasonal sleep. So we should be going, if we're in this northern hemisphere, we should be thinking of retreating our energy. Actually, I do yoga pretty much year round, but October, November, December, I take a break. I don't even work out. I give my body rest. Obviously, I'm walking, I'm lifting, I'm active with just the nature of my work. So that's a form of exercise, but I'm not doing intentional exercise. It's a retreat from that, and then come January, I go back into it. But it's also an opportunity for me to eat less. If I know I'm not expending my body with the morning workout, ideally, the ideal morning workout, then it's like, well, I don't need to eat as much food. This is really a hibernation season of sorts. Animals that naturally hibernate, they stock up their reserves in that season when the food is ripe for the picking. So they build up maybe an extra 50, 100 pounds of reserves, go into hibernation for 3 months, and the body feeds on that extra, whatever, 50 pounds, 50, 100 pounds of reserves. And they come out renewed and ready to repeat that cycle. So that's my seasonal cycle as well. I pretty much don't work out. My body doesn't feel, because I go pretty hard, especially I start back in the winter, and then I'm in full swing by spring. In summer, I'm going hard. I'm working out 2, 3, 4 times a week, and then by like September, I start to feel my body like saying, okay, I can't improve no more. I can't improve anymore. Question here that I want to answer. Do I have my raw vegan restaurant in DC? Not at the moment, but stay tuned. I got something in the works. I'm not gonna announce it here on this platform, but just stay tuned. It's something that could happen as soon as next month, but more than likely December 1st. So you can always just visit my website. I got KeppersRawFoodJuiceBar.com, KeppersRawFoodJuiceBar.net, and if you're not on my newsletter, sign up for the newsletter or just send me your email. I add you to the newsletter. You get the announcement. But yeah, I am looking to reopen soon. Probably I'm thinking December 1st. So can't give any more details than that. But there's something in the works as soon as December. Well, I was planning for November, but it's looking like December. So just Send me the good vibes for that. Uh, whenever it starts, that's the divine time. That's the appointed and anointed time. So even if it's in 2024, or even if it's not, I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it pushing. All right. So I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Again, we got the retreat coming up February, Jamaica, the February 12th to the 19th. I have the flyer on my Instagram. Uh, it's not on my website, but if you go to my Instagram, you find the flyer. Call that 718 number to get some more information, or you can call me, and I'll answer any questions. Um, got Thanksgiving if you're local here in DC. Check out my Thanksgiving lineup. I'm gonna be delivering Thanksgiving meals Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Oh, my brother, I'll show this question. Yeah, so the oranges that I use are the Valencia oranges and the Hamlins. The Hamlin, Hamlin, the Hamlin variety. Those are the two juicing oranges that I use pretty much throughout the winter. That's my juice throughout the winter. Have I written books? Have I written any books related or unrelated to food? My book. Where's my book at? Oh, here it is. Yeah, support me. Get my book, Paradise Health. Actually, quick story. Let me hide this. Quick story. I didn't intend to write this when I wrote it. Um, Basically, I mean, this was sort of autobiographical, if I could say that. I know I butchered that word. It was an autobiography of sorts. When I made a shift to only drink coconut water as my water. Only drink coconut water. This was over 20 years ago. So it's been 20 years. It's 2023. This year, 20 years this year, I've only had coconut water or fresh juices as my water. So this book, I started writing in 2006. I finished it in 2012. So in 2012, well, in 2006, there was nothing talking about coconut water. It was nothing talking about coconut water, drinking it as your only water, and certainly talking about coconut water, using it for fasting. The only thing, the celebrities were doing the quote unquote master cleanse, and I'm sure y'all familiar with that. The master cleanse, doing the cayenne pepper and lemon and salt or whatever it is. And then, of course, you got to take a tea so you can move your bowels. I'm like, coconut water does all of that. Coconut water will move your bowels. Coconut water will hydrate you. Coconut water is a whole food and a water that will cleanse out your organs. It will do everything. It will do everything you need to have done. So basically, I wrote this book, and then I modeled my detox program with coconut water as a base. So I incorporate other juices, but the coconut water is the foundation of the juices. So the coconut water may be in my green juices. I gave you the citrus recipe for the most part. Anytime you're doing any citrus juices, add some coconut water to it. And you may not be able to get fresh coconuts. That is okay. You can get the harmless harvest variety, or you can get the variety that comes in those cartons. You don't want to get a can, of course, no canned coconut water, but you can get the carton coconut water, and you can use that to add to your juices, and it's going to enhance your juices depending on what. It's definitely going to enhance your citrus juices. Uh, so so yeah. So this is the book, Paradise Health, Fasting and Feasting Guide. Obviously, I'm working on my next book, and I don't know when that will be out. Maybe 2024. We'll see. But I am, the information that I'm presenting today is a lot of information, a lot of thoughts and concepts. The philosophy is the stuff that's going to be on in my newer works that's upcoming. But at least for right now, I get to share it on these platforms, and you be able to hopefully incorporate it and benefit in your life. So so we at 11:20. We're getting into my meditation time, so we're gonna leave it there. Again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to remind y'all to engage with this video. So if you're on YouTube, definitely like the video, share the video and such. They really, because I took some hard stances during the pandemic, my channel doesn't get, hasn't seen any growth. If anything, is contracted, and maybe that's a good thing. Look, y'all still rocking with me, and I appreciate y'all and love y'all for that. So I'm not really concerned with growing my channel. Obviously, I like to get more. I would like my message to be expanded. Obviously, I like to expand my audience. But if that's not what it is, then that's not what it is. But still, do your part. If you appreciated the message, again, engage with it, so that it can help the channel and what I'm doing. All right, so that's all I have, and I appreciate y'all, and I will likely see y'all. If I don't see y'all in the next week or so, definitely upcoming with the winter solstice. We got a big year upcoming. 2024 is going to be major, and this is the preparation. We laying the seeds. This is the sowing of the seed time. This groundwork that we laying. The more we're able to get quality rest on multiple levels in these next 8 to 12 weeks going into the winter solstice, is going to allow us to sprint into the new year. See, it's not always about going all the time. And just because we sleep every night, we need rest on different levels. Certainly anybody that works a full-time job can relate, because you need that at least once a year where you vacation for at least a week. So how about vacationing that digestive system to bring that rest and relaxation to your digestive system? Okay, or just that rest completely from all of it. And I know we got lives out here, we got responsibilities, but we do the best we can, and we can really benefit and prosper. But last word is that hunger is our best friend. Hunger is not, we shouldn't associate it with lack, poverty, third world. Hunger is first class, best health, number one habit, and will lead you into wealth and prosperity. Yes. Amen for that. Amen. So, all right, we'll leave it there. Peace and love. I'll see y'all next time.